brothers and sisters, descendants of Great Benin Emancipation. Sorry, Great Benin Empire. Um, my name is Joe Osemudiame Maoli Orupe. Joining me live this morning is the president of the Benin Empire Advancement League in person of Mr. Dele Bello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me here. Good morning.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, every member of the Great Benin Empire Advancement League, we want to thank you all for your efforts so far. I will say welcome to the show this morning. I'm broadcasting live from Accra, and Mr. President is joining me from Austria this morning. How is Austria this morning, sir?
It's very good, sir. Everywhere is bright. People are happy, so I'm also happy. I'm a little bit sad, but everything is okay.
Yeah, I understand, sir. Okay, today we'll be discussing on several issues. Like we talked off before we came live, and we were discussing on the latest developments in the Delta states.
Yes.
This morning I wanted us to discuss the enforcement of sit-at-home order by the unknown gunmen and the security implications that would have on Edo State, knowing fully well that Delta is a neighbor, to Edo State, is our direct neighbor. And we'll also be discussing on the implication that would have on commerce and the economics in Edo State. Also, one of the things I wanted us to touch this morning is the disunity among the various groups in Edo State as well, and several other political issues. But first, let us start with the issue of the unknown gunmen and the enforcement of the sit-at-home order by the IPOB. What's your take, sir? I mean, sometimes a few days ago we had the IPOB autopilot headed by Simon Ekpa, who is actually resident in Finland, issued a sit-at-home order and extended it to Delta State. And before we knew it, some part of the Owerri, is it the Onitsha axis, the express that leads to Asaba?
Yes.
That environment, that community, we witnessed some sort of enforcement of the sit-at-home order. And okay, one, Delta State is actually not an Igbo state. I think we need to clarify that Delta State is not an Igbo state, and so it is quite unsurprising to me, that there's this continuous effort by the IPOB guys to drag Delta into their whole Biafra, schemes. And we had businesses shutting down. We had schools telling telling parents to come and take their words home and all that. And there was a little bit of apprehension in that axis. Now we are told that the sit-at-home order is going to continue. I want to know what you think at this point, because it seems the IPOB guys are actually bringing their activities right to our doorsteps as Benin's. What's your take, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Vice President. Yes, the problem has been there for a very, very long time. As we all know, since the beginning of IPOB, we have underrated IPOB in some ways. Even the Nigerian federal government underrated the IPOBs. But we have been having a campaign against the IPOB, against their activities, against their agenda. But I am not surprised that this is happening now as it is now. The sit at home in Asaba yesterday, I believe, was just the beginning of the whole activities of the IPOB, ESN, and some collaborators from our own side. I would put it this way. Our people in Asaba need to stand up, need to know whom they are, stand up against this ESN. They should not just go in and close the door and stay indoor as if nothing is happening. I think the king in Asaba has a lot to do to educate his people, to let them know they are kings and queens, that they cannot be locked up by anybody. You see, the problem with Asaba, we have so many migrants from Igbo land who came to do business in Asaba or reside in Asaba. For example, you talk about Onitsha. Onitsha, initially, Onitsha is a Benin state. Doesn't belong to Igbo. The Igbo who came in there to settle down there, they are now the majority, to say the fact. Likewise, almost in Asaba, everywhere. So I think our people need to be educated for them to know who they are, why the ESN and IPOBs are so dangerous, even more dangerous than the what do they call them?
Fulani headsmen.
The Fulani headsmen and the Boko Harams. They are more dangerous than them because you can hardly differentiate between these people, their modus of operados and others. For example, what happened yesterday in Asaba? What had that truck driver done? He did nothing. But they gunned him down, killed him cold-blooded. And these people, they will now be coming out to tell their people they want to save their people. They want to save everybody. How can you save us by killing us? The Beninese are kings and queens. We have never been a slave to anybody before, and we will never be a slave to anybody. We will do all it takes to defend the lives of our people, come what may. In Asaba yesterday, a lot of people lost their livelihood. The business was closed. And if this continues, I think many people will be losing their job because they cannot be able to feed their family again. They cannot be able to pay their children's school fees. They cannot do anything again. So that is why it's very, very important. We know the Nigerian soldiers have failed, or the Nigerian security apparatus have failed. Why? Because these IPOB people, they also have their people in the Nigerian army who are giving them this information. Because we saw what happened in Olu. The Nigerian soldiers, they are still in Olu as we are talking now. They are still part of the eastern area. But I believe the pressure in that area pushed the ESN to Asaba, because this is a soft target for them. Because they know the Nigerian army, before they came to Asaba, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. The police is not organized. And I'm still waiting for the statement of the governor of Delta State. But I haven't seen that. This is where the problem lies. The governor should have come up yesterday to instruct his people or to inform his people, to tell them any suspected activities going on in that area should be reported to appropriate authority. But this is not happening. Then we have to ask ourselves, why is all this happening? Why is the governor not going out? because it's like we underestimate these people, their power. Because I know in the beginning of IPOB, they were having millions upon millions of followers who were ready to fight, and they still have it. I think we are underrating these people, and we should not underrate them. We should stand first and defend ourselves, because the Nigerian army is not coming to defend us. This is clear. The police cannot defend us because they are busy collecting their bribe on this roadside. So that is why it's very, very important. The citizens themselves, I am not saying they should take laws into their hand, but make sure report any suspected activities to the local security forces, like the vigilante and other security people at ground. Because this is very, very important. And in our Edo State, you said this is our doorstep. Because we also know that Edo State is also a target of these people. I think it's very, very, Edo State is very, very important to IPOB because it has a lot of members in Edo State. We know that. And we are using this medium, calling on all Edo indigents, whether you are Esan, whether you are Afema, whether you are Ora, Esako, please report any suspicious activities, because we know that in Esan land, for example, the IPOB has a lot of followers there. They have been able to turn our people's head upside down, manipulate them to believe what they are not believing. So this is very, very dangerous. We will not allow that to happen to our people. We will not allow our people to become a slave to another people.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I also want to add some things. Culturally, historically, Delta, Edo, Rivers, part of Bayelsa, and it's like used to be under the Great Benin Empire,
Yes.
With part of Ondo State as it is today. There is no way after over how many centuries that someone would just stand up overnight to begin to distort history. One of the reasons why Nnamdi Kanu had the boldness to try to distort history is because he has seen that the British has tried several times to distort the Benin history using people from the southwest.
Yes. You
understand? And this has happened. You will find that immediately after the Benin massacre and then the capture of Oba at that time, the British people went straight to work using blacks, our neighbors, who were their collaborators, people who showed them, various routes into Benin City at that time. The histories are there. Some of them occupy present-day Delta. Some of them are from the southwest. They were the ones the British used, you understand, to work against the Great Benin Kingdom at that time. And this same system is going on today politically. There is a lot of issues that have been unresolved in the existence of our people. A lot of issues, political issues, religious issues, sociocultural issues. These issues have been there, they've not been resolved. They've not been resolved because it is meant not to be resolved. What the politicians do, and some of these power brokers, is that they use all these unresolved issues for their own selfish gains. We know that the unknown gunmen is well funded. We know they are well funded. We know they have some sort of intelligence. They have some sort of intelligence gathering abilities. Let's not deny that fact. It is there.
Yes.
Now the question is, who is funding these guys? Is the federal government allowing their atrocities to gain ground, because the federal government is going to benefit one way or the other from this whole arrangement? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. Then we have the issues of internal collaborators in Edo states, yes, especially from Esan land. And for me, it's a source of concern, because we have seen our Esan brothers and sisters come on social media to throw their weight behind this unscrupulous element from the southeast. Now, the reason why a lot of them are doing this is because of a long-standing grudge, a long-standing, non-existing grudge between Esans and Benis. That grudge is a figment of their imagination, because there has never been a time that an Esan man has aspired in Edo State that his major problem is a Benin man. It's never happened. And I keep telling people this, the history is there. Politically, the Esans have dominated the political activities in Edo State. The history is there. Let us always stop pretending. There has never been a time that a Benin or an Esako, an Ora man, has disturbed Esas. The problem of Esa not producing governor at this time is Esa's own doing. It is not the doing of a Benin man. And so when you see people come and begin to, out of grudge, it's like cutting your nose to spite your face. And it's a shameful act. So you have a lot of Asian people coming on social media to say we are not Benin, we are not Edos, we are not part of the Benin Empire. It clearly shows that those people are ignoramus. They don't even know their history. Because if you know your history, you will know that the Esas produced kings in the Benin Kingdom. If you know your history, you will know that the Esas were the major military force of the Benin Kingdom. The Benis were more or less administrators. If you know your history, you will know that it is the Esas that helped the Benin Kingdom to expand its territory from southern Cameroon to the Volta region of Ghana today. But because a lot of them are ignorant, a lot of them are raised with, this ignorance, and they begin to think that buying into this IPOB narrative would help them, tantalize their emotions, because that's what it is. They're just having IPOB tantalize their emotions for nothing. And so you see, Nnamdi Kanu sits in the UK and is telling the Esans that Ubiaja, is an Igbo territory. I'm from Ubiaza. I'm from Itohimi, and I feel disrespected that somebody will come, sit down somewhere, and be manipulating people. And Esans pride themselves to be knowledgeable. They pride themselves to be intelligent. But where this set of unintelligent people come from, we really don't understand. And I want to send this out there to my Esan brothers and sisters. If you think the IPOB, the Igbos, this set of people are going to be an ally, it's because you have not read history. If you have read history and you are familiar with the happenings, the things that happened in the Biafra War, you will know that these people can never be trusted. I'm not talking of Igbos as people. I'm talking of IPOB and Biafra as an element. They can never be trusted. Because if you look at the history, the Biafra War history, you will find out that the military administrator at that time, Ejo, gave them passage. And the first thing these Biafrans did was when they got to Benin, they ransacked the central bank, they looted the central bank, they went on a looting spree and appointed an Igbo man and as an administrator of the Midwest region. Their quest is to dominate. Their quest is not to liberate. And I keep telling my Esa brothers and my Benin brothers this. The quest of these Biafrans is to dominate. It is not to liberate. Because if it was to liberate, what were they doing in Midwest region at that time? What were they doing in Ore at that time? Headed for Lagos. Ojukwu himself knew well that he was not interested in secession. The Biafra War was not about secession. The Biafra War was not really about liberation. The Biafra War was a war of ego. It was Ojukwu's own war. And that was why when they came to Ghana, everybody had, you know, the Eburi Accord. We know the Eburi Accord, and there were issues that were agreed upon. But the Igbos would always try to skew it that it is a Nigerian party that did not live up to its responsibility. But that both parties did not live up to their responsibility. And during the Civil War, the Midwest region was neutral. The Midwest region was neutral.
Yes.
But somehow they got themselves into the Midwest region, and the first thing they did was attack the central bank and began to go on a looting spree and appointed an Igbo as an administrator against the will of the people. And that is where they began to have problems. And when they were retreating back to the southeast, they were retreating, not just retreating, but they were killing people in communities. The essence must know that. Yes. It is documented facts. It's not fiction. I'm not bringing this up. I didn't write those things. In fact, if you look at the book, the last book written by Chinua Achebe himself, he stated so many of those things. So many things that were wrong with the Biafra war. Chinua Achebe is not a Benin man. He's an Igbo man.
Yes.
So when we come up and we say certain things, we don't say them because we hate certain people. We say them because we look at history, we look at the facts as presented by history, and we add 1 and 2 together, and we tell our people, you've got to be careful. Because when you bring an enemy into your house, they are going to destroy you from within. Exactly. And that is why we are trying to avoid total chaos. Because right now, the Benin Kingdom and its descendants, we are faced with 3 different issues right now. We have the terrorists. They call them bandits. I call them terrorists.
Yeah, they are terrorists.
We have the terrorists from the north in our forest already as it is right now.
Yes.
Some of them are in Ring Road as it is right now. Then we have the IPOB and the unknown gunmen in our doorstep from Asaba as it is right now. Then from within us ourselves, we have collaborators who are Essence and Benins.
Yes.
IPOB and unknown government collaborators within us. So yes, as it stands like this, if there is an issue today, we'll be fighting on 3 fronts.
Even more so.
How prepared are we? Because we have the Southwesterners who are waiting to further distort history.
Okay. Yes, as he said, we have the Southwestern people. They are not just distorting our history. They are waiting for the opportunity to occupy us. And this is where we should stand up. We should start standing up. As he said, there are activities going on Ring Road. Now, I think our people have to keep a close eyes on all the activities that is going on our state. The Esans, they are our brothers and our sisters. But we will not tolerate all this nonsense that is happening. If you want to be an Igbo or you want to join the IPOB, better relocate. Better relocate to those regions. Because otherwise, it's going to be very, very hard for you. We have been living together for a very, very long time. As brothers, as sisters, as kings and queens. I cannot imagine somebody will not want to be a slave to other people. The Esan brothers and sisters, those that are responsible for the disinformation of the Benin Empire, know themselves. And they are going to pay a heavy price for that. But they still have time to turn back. If you believe the IPOB is better than Boko Haram, go to their country, go to Anambra State and say anything about IPOB and see if you will come back home alive. Okay, explain to me, what has Boko Haram done that IPOB has not done? They have even done worst. Human sacrifice, cannibalism, killing innocent people, raping, and other, everything. Is this the set of people you want us to have in our state? Is this the set of people you want to mingle with? Our vice president said something during the Civil War when the Igbo entered our Midwestern state, that period. Before then, we were neutral, as he said. And Benin Kingdom was used as a negotiating ground between the federal government and the Biafra, that period. They came and we were trying to settle both. But the Igbos were having other agendas that period. They were coming with other agendas, not for settlement, but to invade and enslave us. Everybody that was alive that period during the Civil War can tell you the history of the Biafra, what they did in Benin. You could see cops in the cities. They killed our people for a rich wash. They killed our people for gold, for chain, for everything. They robbed our people, not just the central bank. They raped our women. They committed a lot of atrocity. And now these are the people you want to match with. Collecting information for them. I believe these people have just a small brain. Because if you could think further, ask your parents, go into your history, then you will now understand who these people are. I'm not talking of the whole Igbo, but this set of people, the IPOB, ESN, their supporters, and their sympathizers. If you sympathize with these people, then you are equal to these people. I can remember before my father died, he was having a gun wound here, right here. If you look at this mark, he was having a mark here. This was a gunshot from an Igbo soldier, from a Biafra soldier, because of rich washed. When they came to our village, the whole men in our village was lined up. They were asked to buy themselves out. If you cannot buy yourself out, they will gun you down immediately. That is what they were doing. From village to village, from cities to cities. This was not a joke. This is the real truth. Ask anybody from my village, can tell you the story today, can tell you the history, what these people did in our village. Those who were able to buy themselves out, who could satisfy the Biafran soldiers, were allowed to go. Those who couldn't buy themselves out were gunned down immediately. My father has a luck that very day that he was having a wristwatch on his hand. And two of these soldiers, they were strongly for the. That was how my father was able to escape. And when they saw my father was escaping, they shot at him. And this is the result of the wound he was having here. He was very lucky that very day. Now our people are cooperating with these people, collecting informations. We know all your activities. We are having a close eyes on you people. This message of today is not just to educate our people, but to let our people have in mind that there's something going on in Benin City and environment, especially in the northern part, the eastern land, because the IPOB has a lot of followers in that area. We know that. According to the communication going on between them, we are watching you and we are ready for you. You should know that. We will never allow our brothers and sisters to be slaves to any foreign force. Put it in mind. This is a warning. Simo Ekba, this is the message for you. If you think you can come into our land and create havoc, then you will know whom we are. You will know the leopard and the sleeping lion. When they wake up, then you will have to run. And nowhere in this world that will continue. And I'm talking to you direct. Leave Asaba now. Take your men and leave Asaba. This is Asaba. Go back to your 4 state or 3 states you're having, because you don't even have 5 states as people are saying. Because as I'm saying, we will never allow our people to be slaves to any other person. In this occasion, I'm also sending a message to the new commander of the vigilante, of the security person in Edo State, the newly appointed. We congratulate you for your new appointment, sir. And we wish you good luck, and we hope you can be able to deliver to our people what they are expecting from you, because the time has come to deliver. And we should not be saying we have everything it takes to defend ourselves, because we know we are strong. But we must be very, very ready, because things are coming. Because I said this a few months ago, people were criticizing me for saying that when I said something bigger is coming to Africa. Because we can see what is going on. Before Nigeria independence, before the amalgamation of Nigeria, the Benin Empire was a sovereign nation. The British, who amalgamate us or join us to Nigeria, know the reason very well. Because before the joining of Benin Empire to Nigeria, the British already take some part of our land, that period. Some part of our land was already taken from the British to Nigeria. They know if they didn't add Benin Empire to Nigeria, the Benin Empire will fall back to retake their people. And that's one of the reasons they did what they did. And they did that, and they started information campaign to make sure our people doesn't rise up again, to make sure our people doesn't know whom they are, to make sure they rewrite our history for us. When I hear the name today, people are parading. I'm sorry to say this, people like Wole Soyinka and others. These are more or less a traitor. I think we shouldn't trust those people. Those of our people who are working with IPOB, they will smell the shit they are looking for very soon. We are going to smoke you people out. The Benin nation or the Benin Empire is a sovereign nation. If you believe you can come to our land and start imposing yourself on us, then you are lying. You never know the Benin. The history you read about the Benin is the wrong history. Their history, you didn't know about the Benin, and we will not reveal to you. Till the day come, then you will know whom we are. Because most of you, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausas and the Fulanis, you are taking us for granted. And we are rising up. We are rising up. We will rise and we will shine because we are like a seed. You throw it out and you believe that was the end. But when the rain falls, they will start generating. They will start growing. And this is what is happening now. And it has started. It has started. We are out here to let our people know whom they are. That they are prince, they are princess, they are kings, they are queens. That they are not slaves to anybody. And our message to the governor of Edo State, it is time that we put things together to defend our state from these people. Because we know that the IPOBs, the Boko Haram, and the Southwest people, or that the Yorubas are dominating our army. They are not coming to defend us. That is clear. Anything that is happening in the Nigerian army today is being shared between Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulanis. How many people do we have in the Nigerian military as a state or as an empire? Very few, because they know this. If they allow us to fully participate in the Nigerian army, in the Nigerian security apparatus, we will know all the secrets. We will know all their plans. But they will not allow us to do that because they believe they are superior to us. We, the Beninese, we should start waking up. We should start stopping all these insulting social media activities. Because it doesn't bring anything good to our people. What our people need today is education. To let them know that a Benin man never go to slave to anybody. Whether you are Isan, you are Ora, you are Ika, you are from Isheluku, or anywhere, we don't go to slavery. Our forefather has been able to define that. Oviedo Eyovien Awano. If you want to understand what I said in English, a Beninese person never go to slave. It's forbidden in history. Our forefather has been able to define that. And that was the reason of our environment was that is one of the reasons the British fought the war against the Benin, because we stand on their way to, so that they cannot enslave our people. And if some of us believe this is the right decision for them, they should relocate. Relocate to Igbo land, stay there for 6 months, 1 year, then you will know. You will understand who these people are. So you are welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. I think we had some sort of internet issue.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so for me, the greatest concern is my own people. You know, when I say my own people, I just mean, you know, the Asans, because of course I'm a Benin man and a descendant of the great Benin kingdom. The Asans must understand that if the IPOBs did not spare their own people, they will not spare them.
No.
And so before you collaborate with the UGM, you must ask yourself very strong questions. When those people pronounce a sit at home, for instance, in Esa land, and with the help of internal collaborators decide to enforce the sit at home, what are the implications for you? It simply means that your father and your mother will not be able to go to the farm. It simply means that your brothers and sisters will not be able to go about doing their business. It simply means that they are going to cripple the economy of Esan land, just like they are crippling their own economy in the southeast. It simply means that they would use the funds that they have to create more division among Esan brothers and sisters. It simply means that they are going to exploit you people and enslave you. Because if those people could kill their own sons, kill their own people, burn properties, how much more you, who is not their own? And so I always tell my people, before you begin to believe the things that people tell you, you first need to question the source.
Exactly.
Have you, as Asans, questioned the things Nnamdi Kanu said? And if you have questioned, how true are the things he has said? Because never in the history of the Benin Kingdom did we see that the Asans and the Benin are enemies.
Never.
Never in the history. Because we know that Esa migrated from Benin. We know that several Obas from the great Benin Kingdom married Esan women who gave them sons, who became heir to the throne and later became king. There is no way you can talk about the history of Esan land that you will not mention Benin. There is no way you can talk about the history of the Benin tribes that you will not mention Esan. There is no way. And so, my brothers, when people sit down and concoct lies, because they have actually seen that there is some sort of crack between the relationship of certain Esan people and Benis, and they exploit that division, that crack, to further cause division amongst you. And we ourselves are doing these things to ourselves. Just take a look at the discussions you're having on social media.
Yes.
Take a look at the approach of some of our people on social media. The hate The vast statements, the comments, disgusting. Conversations that should not even take place in public. These are the things that these people observe, and they exploit our divisions. We have become enemies because of partisan politics.
Yes, sorry to say.
To the point that we sit on social media and call ourselves all sorts of names. It's a shame. It's a big shame. We should spend our time talking about things that should bring development to the state. We should spend our time talking about things that will empower us. You don't need to like my face. If I have an idea that will benefit everybody, leave my face and take my ideas and run with my idea. You don't need to like the fact that I'm from Ubiaza. If I have an idea that will empower the people, leave where I am from and take my ideas and run with it. That is what sensible people do. But all the things we see on social media is becoming nauseating. We are beginning to disgrace our ancestors.
Exactly.
We are beginning to act shamefully. We are beginning to operate below standard as a people. And we need to be ashamed of ourselves. We see ESAs mount social media platforms and cast aspersions on Benin. It's a shame.
Yes.
We see ESA brothers and sisters who should know better mount podiums and think the Benin man is their problem. We mount podium and begin to lie to the people that ESAs are being marginalized. Who says ESAs are being marginalized? And when we call these people for to present their argument, they run away because they know that they are lying. Because they know that when it comes to the politics of Edo State, when it comes to the politics of Midwest region, when it comes to the politics of Old Bender State, the ESAs are benefited more.
Yes. Yes.
Even at the federal level, when it comes to the politics of Edo State today, at the federal level, the ESAs are benefiting more. When it comes to party politics, the ESAs are benefited more. We know the influence late Pa Aneni had in the party politics of Edo State. We know the influence Mr. Dan is having today in the PDP. That's a party politics of Edo State. Are these men not ESA men?
Yes.
They are ESA men. They determine the direction the political parties should head in Edo State. They determine it. So if your grouse with the Benin people is the issue of not being able to produce the governor, go and blame your brother, who is the party chairman. That should be your problem. Obaseki is not your problem. Because when Obaseki crossed over to the PDP, you had your ESA son who had already signified his interest to run for elections as governor of the state. Why did he step down? If he was compelled to step down, he should come forward and tell the people that I was compelled to step down.
Yes.
And mention the names of those who compelled him to step down. You had your own brother, your own ESA brother, who is the head of the PDP today in Edo State. If he so loved the ESA man, that he wanted an ESA man to be governor, why did he not work with his office to make an ESA man governor? These are the issues. And I've always told people it doesn't really matter whoever is governor. What matters is how they benefit, how the people benefit from the governor. That is what it should be. this unhealthy rivalry that we are experiencing from certain quarters in Eastern land should be put to a halt. Benefiting anybody?
Not at all.
The truck that with the cement was coming from Okwela.
Yes.
The implication is that many truck drivers would deem that axis unsafe. And so economic activities from that axis is going to come to a halt.
Exactly.
And that's not going to benefit you people. It's not going to benefit you. If IPOB one way or the other succeeds in overrunning Delta, I know it's going to be very, very impossible. But if they succeed, I can bet you, my Eastern brothers and sisters, you will live in terror.
Yes.
I am telling you, because I know the people we are dealing with, you will live in terror. Some of us speaking today, we know what we did when the Fulanis, the headsmen, almost invaded Benin.
Yes.
We know the things put in place before the governor responded, before the Edo State government responded. We know how we mobilized the vigilantes. We know how some of us had meetings with the vigilantes from time to time, even bought communication equipment for them and several other logistics, made provisions for several other logistics. And we kept telling the government at that time, give these people life insurance policy. It's not everything we sit on social media and talk about.
No.
Many of us who are in the diaspora, we seem to have more intelligence. We seem to have the ability to gather more intelligence than the state government itself. And so when we are telling you people certain things, we are not telling you because we want to persuade you to see things from our own point of view. No, we are telling you because we know it's the reality. Before the state government is going to come to your aid, mobilize the DSS and the police, we would have even gone further more than them.
Yes.
And so we are telling you people, it is always better to prevent an impending doom. And how are we going to prevent these things from happening? It's by being proactive, by putting aside those heaviness, unnecessary bickering, hates, disagreements, unhealthy disagreements. Because if you're going to have any disagreement with your brother, it is not going to make life more easy. It's unhealthy. If you're going to have any disagreement with your brother, and that disagreement is not going to bring development, it's unhealthy. There are issues we need to discuss, not just in Edo State. There are issues we need to discuss in Lagos. There are issues we need to discuss in Volta region in Ghana. There are issues we need to discuss. Issues that affect the Benins in Togo. But we are being distracted. You are the ones distracting us. So much development we want to bring. The diasporans are just sitting there helpless. We can't do anything. Because if we are going to do anything in the state, we need people. But we are the people. This one's fighting themselves up and down. There are real estate projects that should come to Eastern land from the diaspora. We can't bring it to Eastern land. Because there's so much division, even as themselves. Let's not pretend about it. And so when we talk because we are so concerned. Because if anything happens tomorrow, we are going to spend more. We are going to have sleepless nights. We are going to think of how we will begin to evacuate our cousins, our grandparents, our fathers and our mothers and sisters and brothers. And so because the resources, the time and energy we should spend on these things, we can spend it on developing our land. And that is why we are calling all of you to begin to act responsible and stop all these childish rants and enmity and all these distractions that we see on social media. It's not necessary. The Benin man doesn't hate an Esa man, and an Esa man doesn't hate a Benin man. This hate that some people are trying to drive is a figment of their imagination. If you have anything contrary to our position, let's have a public debate.
Yes.
If you think the Esa man has been marginalized in the political affairs of Edo State, come on, let's have a public debate. I am challenging you. I'm an Esa man. I am challenging you. Let's have a public debate. Let's go live. Let the whole world see. Present your arguments, and let us also present our arguments. Then he who has a superior argument will have the day.
Exactly.
Now, if you cannot do this, or you go about poisoning people against others, only cowards do that. You are a coward. And there is no need to mince words. You are an enemy of your people. Anybody, my Esa brothers and sisters, anybody who tries to sow the seed of hate, consider that person as an enemy to Esa land. Whether he's your uncle or your brother or whatever, consider him an enemy. Because we have Esas living in Benin City.
Yes.
They've never been evicted. A lot of them are landlords.
We will also allow
A lot of
that.
them own prime properties in Benin City. In short, we used to pride ourselves that we developed Benin City. How would we develop Benin City if we do not see Benin City as our own land? We developed Benin City, we contributed to the development of Benin City because we regard Benin City as our own land.
Yes. Yes.
If a Benin man comes to Esa land today to develop Esa land, to build a house, to build factories in Esa land, are you going to evict him? No. That is his land. That is the land of his ancestors. Just as we can migrate to any part of Edo State as Esans to develop the place because it is the land of our ancestors. We share the same ancestors. We share the same forefathers. Do not let anybody sow any seed of disunity amongst us. You will not see your Benin brother in trouble and decide to help an enemy instead of helping your brother. That is a curse.
Yes. Yes.
That is a curse. And so all this nonsense we are doing on social media, we should put an end to it because there are much more important issues we should be discussing. How do we develop agripreneurs? These are issues we should be discussing. How do we develop techpreneurs? These are issues we should be discussing. How do we develop fashionpreneurs? These are issues we should be discussing. Let us be on those issues, not the issue of Benin man or Esa man is an enemy. Those issues are for immature minds.
Yes.
We should be discussing how we could have super highways. We should be discussing how we could have trams from Benin City, from the park, Central Park, to various places in Esa land. We should be discussing how we could generate and distribute our own electricity by way of maybe solar or windmill. Those are the things we should be discussing. We should be discussing how we can have affordable housing units. We do not need the government. We do not need politicians to do these things. We have rich Asian sons and daughters. We have rich Benin sons and daughters. The problem is we have this selfish attitude. We only think about self. We cannot come together and, harness our resources, and mobilize our resources and decide, okay, for the next 3 years, we want to provide 50,000 affordable housing units for our people. And these 50,000 affordable housing units, we are going to spread it all across local governments in Edo State. These are the conversations we should be having. But no, little minds are distracting us.
Exactly.
Little minds, immature minds, sit down in the comfort of your home, keyboard warriors, who all they know is to create division and hate. And this is the reason why Nnamdi Kanu could look into our faces to be spewing the nonsense he's spewing.
Yes.
When his own ancestors do not have anything they can be proud of. You are talking to a people whose civilization predates yours. You are talking to a people whose history is cast on bronze. You are talking to a people who over 70,000 artifacts is lying in museums all around the world. And you people think it's wise to follow such a man, to hate on your own brother. Shame on you. Yeah. Shame on all of you. You're a total disgrace to our ancestors. And there is no mighty word. Because if we do not begin to speak truth to issues, tomorrow the enemy is going to come and consume all of us. Yes. We are enabling them with your division, and those are to speak up. The enemy will come and consume all of us. And that is why we choose to speak up today, so that posterity will judge us. Mr. President, I think we have this issue.
Yes, sir.
Yes. It is now left for the people to have their thinking caps on and begin to have this conversation, room to room, compound to compound, street to street, local council development area to local council development area, local governments to local governments. We need to begin to have this conversation in our marketplaces, in our religious centers, in our educators. We are part. And God knows that we have done our part. Our ancestors knows that we have done our part. It is now left for the people to listen to wisdom, if they choose to. But if they choose to be foolish, we can guarantee them that their foolishness will consume them. When the enemy comes for you, you won't have a brother to defend you. And how you people don't realize these things seem to baffle me. The next broadcast I want to see is us discussing issues of economic empowerment of our people. That is what I want us to spend our energy and our time. Not all these stupid issues, all these unnecessary bickerings. There's a lot of issues going on. There are a lot of things happening all around the world. Our people are being starved of information. Our people, our young ones, the teenagers in Edo State and Delta and all parts of Benin Empire are being starved of opportunities. What we ought to start doing now is, network amongst ourselves and look at these opportunities and decide, okay, we are going to sponsor five of our teenagers or our youth on robotics. We're going to sponsor let's all come together and probably buy a property somewhere in the Benin city and employ high-tech guys who would start teaching our kids in primary school, teach them coding. Those are the things we should be talking about. We should come together as a group and say, okay, Mr. Governor, you have created an entrepreneurial hub. We want to come in with this idea. We want to sponsor maybe 300 youths from Edo, Delta, Rivers. We want them to be domiciled in this entrepreneurial hub. And we want them to undertake these trainings. What we should be discussing right now is, okay, we need to buy properties so that we can create virtual offices for young entrepreneurs who have graduated from school but do not have enough money, enough capital, to rent a business space. These are the things we should be discussing. What we should do is come together and raise, revenue, funds, so that we can provide funds for aspiring entrepreneurs or agri-entrepreneurs and say, okay, you need 2 million for your project. We are giving you 1 million. And we're going to sit with you to give you some sort of, provide consultation on how you could grow this business. Because yes, you have the practical knowledge, but you might not have the business knowledge. And we can, have mentors to mentor these young people. These are the things we should be doing right now. We have a lot of people in the diaspora who are willing to help. But we cannot help a people that are not ready. That's the problem. We cannot help a people that are busy wasting their resources, their time and energy on the wrong things. That's the problem. Take, for instance, the cab hailing business. We can decide to and start a cab hailing company that would employ a lot of our youths, a lot of Benin indigenous. We can have our own. We can have our own, whatever you call it, boats. Who says we can't? We have good tech guys who can develop these apps and develop these programs, but they are all wasting away. And instead of those people to spend their energy and time on that are important, they are busy bickering over Benin hates, Esa hates Benin, this, that. Senseless subject matters. So I beseech all in the name of our ancestors, there are much more important issues that we ought to be discussing. Stop distracting us. Stop distracting us. Stop making us waste our energy on things that are not important. The time you are spending on hate on social media, use that time to sell an idea to us. And what if we are not going to mobilize ourselves to make that idea come true? The time you are busy using to fight your fellow Asa brother or Benin brother on social media, use that time to create business ideas, create inventions, and sell it to us. And sit back and see if we will not do all we can to make sure we help you fulfill this dream. That is what we should be interested in. Increase the revenue of our states. The government can have more money to do more projects for the people. That is what we should be talking about. How we can be self-sufficient, how we can feed ourselves. We need to first even think of how we can feed ourselves before we can think of exporting our agricultural produce.
Yes.
These are the things we should be talking about. We need to think about how we can develop our youth in sports. These are the issues we're about. But no, you distract us and we always go on a wild goose chase. We get stuck on conversations that are not developing our communities. And it's a shame. It's a big shame. So please, my brothers and sisters, I am begging you in the name of our God and our ancestor, desist from all these distractions and let's focus on issues. We have vigilantes who are ill-equipped. How do we equip them? How do we provide them with life insurance? How do we provide their families with funds in case if they are breadwinner? How do we provide them with logistics? We have a lot of Benins in the diaspora. Providing cars for our vigilante is not a problem. I need you people to know this thing.
Yes.
If we need 1,000 vehicles for our vigilantes, we have Benins. We have 1,000 Benins, indigenes, descendants in Europe that can give 1 car each. But you people are distracting us. Problem. If we need gadgets for our vigilantes today, we have more than 1,000 Benins who can mobilize to provide these things. So stop distracting us. Rather be a bridge that connects so that we can bring development. That is what we should be doing because there's so much to be done. So much to be done. The vigilantes do not even have well-equipped offices.
No.
They do not have boots, uniforms. They do not have communication gadgets. We should, by this time, be having communication with the government and ask government, how can we help? Because the governor cannot be. Let us be frank. Edo State, as it is, does not have the funds. So, are we going to allow crime and terrorism, hold us to ransom in Edo State because the governor doesn't have the fund? We've got to begin to do things ourselves. Me, that's what I have to say. If people like listening to the words of wisdom, if you like, don't listen. I have said my own.
Oh, thank you very much. What an advice. I want our people to know this. If somebody is having issue with me, we shouldn't always turn it into an ethnic conflict. If you as an Asian man is having a problem with Edo person, we shouldn't turn it into Edo and Asian conflict. This is what I have been observing. I have always reached out to our people to stop all this nonsense. And I will continue to do that. Because the time you insult Asa person, at the same time you are insulting me.
Yeah.
Because he's my brother. Their king is also my king. Likewise, the Oba of Benin is also a king to them. So we should stop all this nonsense, fighting against each other. Because I can promise you the outcome will not be a good one for every one of us. We have enemies to fight against.
Yeah.
We have enemy number one, how to feed our people.
Yeah.
How to defend our people against all these IPOBs and the Fulani, herdsmen, our own traitors too. We have also this problem, how to defend ourselves from all these foreign invaders who are pretending to be investors coming into our state and looting us.
Yeah.
But we cannot achieve all this if we continue to be enemy to ourselves.
No.
So this is the time for the Benin to rise up to understand what is really going on in our community.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what IPOB has been able to do. They've done it. Go to Igbo land today. Most of them will tell you they are not IPOB, they are not this. But 80% of them are already with them. They already have the ideology.
Yes.
And this is what we don't have. We thought maybe we are in Europe, or we are living in Lagos, or we are living in Kaduna or Sokoto, that nothing will happen to us. That is just a joke. Because we saw what happened to Ukrainians. Half of Ukraine people are now living exile. In Borno State, half of their people are living in displaced area, in camps. We saw what happened during the Sierra Leone Civil War or the Liberian Civil War. We know what was at stake that period. In the Nigerian Civil War, we know also what happened. How these people overrun us. within 2 days. That's the fact. We didn't even defend ourselves. We didn't fire a shot because there was no defense line. We were always waiting for our ancestors to defend us. And when we are calling on our ancestors, we should also remember these people, they have ancestors. That is it, sir. Don't laugh, sir, because when we are praying to our ancestors, these people are also praying to their ancestors.
Yes, that's the truth.
But they are not coming to help us. It's only when we start helping ourselves, then they will support us.
Yeah.
So I can't see Benin and Asa having a grudge because of a political issue or because of organization issue, or he doesn't like my person. That shouldn't be a problem to you. Let that be our private issues. Let us leave our ethnic group aside from this project. I know most of our people, they have a problem with supremacy. But if we are truthful to ourselves, in these modern days, supremacy doesn't really have any room. It doesn't have anything to play in our daily life. We choose whom we are, not people choosing something for us whom we are to be. If you want to keep yourself as a slave, remain a slave. If you want to be an upright somebody, human being, be that human being. But don't come up on social media and start saying this is supreme, this is not supreme. Who are you to judge? Are you the person who gave birth to him? So things need to come down between Asa and Edo. We shouldn't use every opportunity to be insulting ourselves, because that is not what we stand for. That is not what we want.
Exactly.
Because the enemy is already at the doorstep.
Exactly.
As the Vice President said today, every truck driver who heard the incident that happened in Aba yesterday, they will not drive that route again. They will avoid that area. And that area is coming to stand still. Because those drivers, they have been compensating our people who are hawking, who are selling along the streets, buying goods from them. But if we cannot protect these people now, then they are going to lose everything. And it's going to be a difficult task to build everything again. So I don't know if you still have any advice for our people, because I would like to call it.
There's really nothing for me at the moment. I just want to use it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think I'm
Yeah, you are back.
network is really, I just want to use it to tell sisters, we need your support. Be a part of what we're doing. Subscribe to our YouTube, Benin Empire Advancement League, and also, a lot of people.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully, we get to see everybody. By the weekend, we'll have more discussions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And my last word for our people, please, as our Vice President said, subscribe and like our Facebook page our YouTube, and always support any Benin group you know that is doing good to our people, because that is very, very important. Even if it's Esan, if it is Urobo, Isekiri, Isoko, anyone you know that is working to improve the lives of our people, always support them. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you people on weekend. Maybe before then, maybe we'll talk again. And have a great day. Have a blessed day.
Have a great day. Good day. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Thank you, sir.